Welcome. I'm Chef Stephanie Rose with the Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen, Executive Chef for the American Heart Association. And I am here tonight to bring you a very, very special recipe, just because I don't know about y'all, but I adore Ethiopian food. One of my best friends introduced me to when I was in college. I'm not going to say the year, but in Washington, D.C., he had this coupon book, buy one entree, get one free. So he loved it. And there was always a coupon, quite a few, for the Red Sea, which was on 18th Street in Adams Morgan. Up the stairs. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been there. I was bereft that it's not there anymore, because it was just spot on. It was just a really charming place, great food. I wish I could get the Tibs somewhere else that they made. It was just so clean and just crisp with the meat that was succulent and the jalapeños and just zam bam. And it was really a neat experience. So I've had some trials and tribulations. Full transparency, you can be completely honest. I tried to make some injera, and this is what happened. It didn't particularly work out. When you're in a hurry, sometimes you just have to do the process and be patient. And you know me, I am, if anything, determined and relentless, and I'm going to do it again and again until I get it right. I've got the teff flour, which is what you're supposed to use, and you're just supposed to let it sit out and ferment for days and days and days. So I should have started it 3 days ago, but I didn't get my teff flour until like yesterday. So at any rate, fun, full of protein. You should try it. Try making it just for the hay of it. And then of course my greens delivery didn't come. So who needs the greens? We've got all this gorgeous broccoli rabe. So actually this particular recipe of Awaze beef tibs kind of covers everything. So except I don't have the injera. This is delicious, works in place of the greens. So why not? I also love broccoli rabe, and I've never seen a recipe for Awaze tibs with broccoli rabe. So I hope y'all, if you are cooking with me, again, apologies. It's just not clear where to find the recipe. I promise you the recipes are there, hidden, code to find them in that list. When you go to register, you see all of the recipes listed, and it says the recipe. And of course, I can't put the recipe in there. That would be large. That'd be too easy, right? So you click on that. It says, what's in your refrigerator, blah, blah, blah. Seafood, et cetera, et cetera. That doesn't really help much. Just go over to the time. It says 6 to 7. Click on that. You will find the recipe. It's there. I wish I could change that, whatever the title on that, but working on it. Okay. Or just email me and I'll, try to send it off to you. But you know what? You don't have to cook along. You could just watch. Yeah. And like I said, tonight I'm a little discombobulated, but I apologize. I got the dog here and my daughter's not here. So let's get started. I hope y'all have washed your hands. I am washing my hands, and I've got some beautiful meat here. I know they're both 2 different colors because I got this one yesterday, and it's not bad just because it's brown, just little oxidation. It's fine. Smells delicious. I'm not throwing it out. I'm eating it. And then this came today, which I was thrilled. It's obviously the tips from the fillet. It still has some of the chain on it, which I'm going to have to cut off. But hey, I'm all for it. Filet is expensive, but it's just a lovely and very lean and succulent and soft and not too chewy. I mean, if you have to use, one of the leaner meats, there's a fly in here and he is going to die soon. Just better not land on my food. But you'd have to cook it quite a bit longer, slower and low, for the meat to start to tenderize. And usually that takes about 3 hours. Maybe in your Instapot. So you see, I do have a different knife that I use, when I'm working with meat or fish. Go away, Clay. Go away. I like the flexible and thinner kind of blade. Okay. And I guess it's still pretty much the same technique of, the pinching of the blade. I like this one too, because the handle's a lot smaller, because my hand is really small. So, frankly, sometimes a big heavy knife with a big handle like this, it's heavy, it's tiring. So there are definitely so many other knives out there, and that won't cost you $200. Blanking on the name of it, but Restaurant Store has a great Victoria. I think it's called Victoria Knox. Totally great knife. So I'm just going to kind of poke in here and cut off as much as this fat part as I can. Yes, the American Heart Association says you're supposed to throw that out, but I'm actually going to pretend to throw it out. I'm just kidding. It's going to give me, I want to, cook with it a little bit. I want to try it. So I am going to cut off some of this here, but still that looks good. I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to check this one out, pick at it. Obviously that other one doesn't have a lot of fat. I don't know if y'all have ever cleaned a whole filet mignon, but you get a nice pile of meat. Okay, yeah, it's got globs of fat in it, but you could grind it, make some ground beef. Okay, now here I've got some silver skin on this one. So I'm just going to dig my knife underneath here. And you can see actually when I cut this off, the pretty red meat on the bottom here. Okay. Just cut that goodness off. There we go. Now I'm just going to cut this. It doesn't really say what size pieces, but from my recollection, I've seen them I've seen them long, I've seen them, chunks, but I think part of the idea is to cut them in fairly even sizes, right? So they kind of cook the same, but that's kind of hard to do when it's this shape. Very hard to do. Awaze. I looked up Awaze seasoning, and I have a package here, and I know it's out there. It's not hard to find. I got mine online for about $6. I think it's Spice World, because you probably don't have all of the ingredients in it in your pantry. I don't even think I have all of the ingredients that go in it in my pantry, and I've got a lot of stuff. You might have fenugreek. Believe that is an ingredient in it, but it's a spicy sauce. I think that's what it translates to, and it can be on the side, in a stew, in a soup, kind of maybe it's kind of like our ketchup. That's what I'm thinking, like a spicy version of what we like ketchup, because we put ketchup on everything. And don't forget, it goes in barbecue sauce too. So that's kind of similar. And it's a condiment like chimichurri in Argentina. I'm craving that again too, y'all. I love the chimichurri. I gave a class that, I think was it like 2 years ago? I don't know, but 2020, 2021, it's a blur. It's a blur. Absolute blur. So this is, I might have a little bit over a pound here. I think I got carried away. I'm going to cut those up. Delicious, delicious. That aside, I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. I'm not too worried about cross contamination because I know where this came from. I know my butcher, and frankly, I actually do eat raw beef, and so do the Ethiopians. Actually, they have. I'd never seen it before. They have a raw beef and raw lamb dishes at the restaurants. Now I wish I had tried them, but I am going to wash my hands here. And I pretty much washed my other ingredients, so I just want to get them cut up for you. Doesn't have to be too fancy, but let me sprinkle a little bit of got a little bit of my berbere, the berbere seasoning. I'm going to put that little bit on this. I think the recipe says 1 tablespoon, but it's not exactly clear. It just says added here and added there. So adding a little bit here and I'll add a little bit there. So it's the berbere, I think, is a key ingredient in a lot of our Ethiopian dishes. And I'm sorry, that is the what I was referring to, not the Awaze. So here's the spicy berbere. It comes in spicy or mild. And let me just give you an idea what is in it. Try to find one that doesn't have the sodium in it. Always, err on no sodium, and especially don't buy it if salt is the first ingredient. That's a big no-no. Paprika. All right, we all probably have that, right? Coriander. We know that's the seeds from cilantro, and we are using cilantro too. Cardamom, allspice. I find that really interesting because allspice is also a key ingredient in jerk seasoning. I believe it comes from the palmetto tree. So I'm wondering what the connection is there. I'm going to have to investigate that. Okay, then we've got garlic, turmeric, black pepper, cumin, salt, cloves, fenugreek, cinnamon, and nutmeg. That's a lot, right? But nice. I like it. So, it has some similar undertones to the jerk, and that would kind of make sense now, wouldn't it? So, okay, I've got a little bit of that sprinkled on there. Now I need to cut up my broccoli rabe, rapini. At least, you can find it more now in the grocery stores. I was delighted. Used to not really be able to find some of this stuff. And I like it because it's sort of a little bitter, but not too bitter. And it just says a rough chop, 2 cups. I may not even need all of this. I don't know. Some people might prefer this, just the head and some of the leaves and less of the stalk. I don't know. It's up to you. So we're getting all kinds of rich vitamins with this. It's not going to cook for very long, so I think I am going to cut off some of the thicker stalks, and I could save that. Like I said, it's only 2 cups, so does that look like 2 cups? Almost, right? One more for posterity. 2 cups. Go back over here. Definitely 2 cups. Let me put this in this little container, because this is just going to go in a little bit later, wilt a little bit when we start having fun and start cooking. Is anybody out there cooking with me? I would love to see you on camera. Got it. I say hello to everybody. Got some dear friends out there who are with me on a regular basis. God bless you. So wonderful having you. And maybe I'll get to see you in the kitchen. Some of you very soon. My test classes have started. Believe it or not, I had my first test class in the kitchen. It's like I'm nervous about it. It's kind of like, ooh, last Tuesday or something. It really, really nice to be there, and it's coming. It's coming. I didn't think, wasn't sure when it was going to happen, but it is. And I'm praying, knock on wood, May. Okay. What else I gotta chop up here? I need to get my cheat sheet. Red onion. Honestly, these red onions are so big. I don't really think sometimes recipes are intended for this monster sized produce that we have these days. Forgot my old garbage. I'll use that. There we go. So I may or may not use the whole onion. But the good news is I only have to slice it. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, I know I didn't talk you through holding this knife, but basically it's the same premise as holding that other one. I cut off both sides, which I don't normally do because I'm just going to be slicing it. Just so you can see up close and personal how I'm going to do this carefully. You see my other hand, I've got it curled under. Love that, the claw. And I don't think it has to be too perfect, but I'm just going to do slices. And it really doesn't matter if it's this way or this way. I do not care. And then as I get closer through it, sometimes it just seems easier to turn it. Okay. Always do whatever is easiest. And it seems logical also, to turn it in my opinion. Okay. Now I need to put these in a container. Remove that. I may do half of the other one just because I love onion. And then I can always save the rest of that onion for a wonderful chicken salad, and I'm leaving the skin on so it will actually hold up better and longer in my refrigerator. Again, just cut that off. If I had a stock going, it would definitely go in the stock. Of course, I took the stock off. I had one working for 2 days. Beautiful chicken stock. All right. Slice, slice, slice. Slice. There we go. Let's just wipe off this cutting board. Okay, now I want to have done the onion. Now I'm going to do the jalapeno. It says 2, but this one came today. What? Again, you know me. I'm exclaiming because this has to be one of the biggest jalapenos I've ever seen in my life, and I think it equals 2. Right? Even these are huge. Everything's just getting bigger. It's weird, scary, including me. That's scary. It's all scary. I need a big shrinking machine. So I just cut off this end. I don't even think these are really that spicy. And then I'm just standing it up, and I'm just going to cut off panels kind of around the seeds. And then we're just going to cut this in strips. If I recall correctly, the seeds were not removed in the dishes at the Red Sage. Because it was hot. Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to again slice this. And I think it was like little circles. I do have another place that I go to in DC regularly. And I think it's called Habesh. It's a market on 9th Street near S. And I go there whenever I can when I'm driving through. I mean, I will drive through DC just so I can stop there. On my way home, I'll suffer through 50 just for some Ethiopian food. But now we're learning how to make it. So that's like totally exciting, right? All right, so this was the jalapeños. Good enough. That's 2, right? Works for me. Okay, now I need a little bit of garlic. I do love garlic. This one's actually starting to grow a little bit. It's got that little green thing. It's okay. You know, I'm still going to use it. Just looks a little old. First, I'm going to cut off that dried up tibby thing on the end. And maybe I'm going to smash it because why not? I'm going to mince this. Give that a good smash. And that way I can cut off anything that's brown and doesn't look too good. I can just take that green part out because sometimes it's a little bit bitter. So get that out. And then I'm going to mince this up. Move that because I'm probably going to have to put it in here. Not too bad. Again, careful. This is when I changed my grip a little bit. As y'all probably know, I relax my hand that's holding the handle, move it back a little bit, just so I can do this sort of rocking, little bit of rocking action. I think I want to sprinkle a little bit more berbere on my meat. Why not? It's actually kind of marinating a little bit over here, right? This is nice. I want that flavor to get in with the meat. There we go. Doot, doot. Oh, yum, 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 yum. All right, back to this. So I'm just going to go back and forth, back and forth. It says mince it fine. And if you don't want to do this and you want to buy it in one of those little squeezy tubes, be my guest. But this, you know, you're going to get all of those wonderful nutrients from. Okay, now we have some fresh ginger. Love it. It's at a pretty big chunk. So I'm just going to get that nice big chunk that's right there in the middle. I want you. And you could get a paring knife and cut off the nubby parts here. Or you could use a peeler, whichever one floats your boat. Now what you're looking for is nice white. This one's not looking too white on the inside. You know, it should be white or kind of what the little bit of a yellowish hue. Not this color. See, this one's kind of brown, but it still smells okay. But that is not my first choice of ginger. I get spoiled. Sometimes I buy some beautiful ginger. It's so fresh, and at H Mart, some grocery stores just leave the ginger out too long. I'm gonna try it anyway. So since I'm not zesting it, you know, or grating it, I want the full effect of the ginger, the kind of biting and zingy. So I'm just gonna do the fancy way, I guess, the time-consuming way. Cut it into panels. I think it said like a 1-inch piece. Cut it into panels. It's a little hard to cut. You know, there is that trick I do with freezing it peeled, and then you grate it. I think that definitely changes the flavor somewhat. So I want this fresh and powerful. So I've just stacked it up. And then I just, you know, it's all about cutting into strips. Strips. I hope y'all do try that greens recipe. I think I'm going to try it next week. There's also a really nice another side dish. They have so many sides that are just incredible. Altique, I'm not sure I'm saying it correctly, but I know it's cabbage and potatoes, but trust me, delicious. You know, don't poo-poo the cabbage. I always like to get that on the side with the greens. My favorite. All right, that's a lot of ginger, right? That was, I'm just going to go over it, make it a little bit finer. Boop, boop, boop. Love it. I was going to say, don't let me forget the rosemary. Oh, I have to show y'all. I mean, I just so happen to have like a sprig left for my class on Tuesday night. And I really wanted a live plant. So I ordered the live plant. Right? You know, you've seen these in the grocery store. They're fabulous. I don't think you can plant them in your garden, but this guy's not alive. It's like, what happened? This is what they brought me. I don't even think I can revive this guy. Yeah, it's incredible. I will get my money back, but that is definitely not alive. This is alive. This is beautiful and alive. My rosemary in the garden is still kind of, you know, wintered. It doesn't have any new fresh sprouts. So this is why I needed to buy some. So get your fresh rosemary, which I thought was another interesting addition to this recipe. And we don't use the stalks. You just kind of rip them off. Pull your hand all the way down. It said two stalks. So this is 2. Didn't say how long, right? And it's okay if you get a little bit of the papery stuff that's on the bark. It's okay. And this little top part is beautiful. It's just okay. So then we gotta chop this up. So yeah, there's a little bit of chopping. I think we're coming down to the finish line of the chopping. Just gotta do the tomatoes. And again, doesn't have to be too fine. And you know what I'm gonna start? I'm gonna start my pan and get this meat searing, okay? See if I can get that pan hot. All right, what do you go in? Goes in with the rosemary goes in with the spices, I believe. Yes, goes in with the cumin. So I'll put it in there. Wonderful. Oh, so we're going to use a real light canola oil in the pan. I know the recipe said to save the little tips. I'm going to try that. I don't know if y'all, you know, if I mentioned, you know, this is a recipe by Marcus Samuelson. Oh boy, my days in New York, I had a wicked crush on. I think I still do have a little crush on Marcus Samuelson. He is a very interesting chef, a very famous restaurant. Has several restaurants, but the one that I always wanted to go to was called Aquavie in New York City, and it's expensive. I mean, I had to save up for it, and I never, you know, finally when I was ready to go and had saved the money, you know, it was like his last night being open, and the darn place closed, and I was crushed. He's just a very interesting chef. I believe he was born, shall I say, in Ethiopia, and I hope I'm right on that. And then adopted by a Swedish family. You know, oh, ingenting. I mean, so Aquavie was his spin, you know, an American spin on Swedish cuisine. And now he has another restaurant in Harlem. And he has some books out. Should just check them out. He's got a new book out. I think it's called Rise I just bought it. I haven't looked at it. Came out in 2020. I'm dying to check it out. So I am just cutting out the core. I'm not even going to show you the other tomatoes that they delivered me that were unacceptable. But I can't complain too much, right? I feel blessed to be able to have the food, you know, delivered to me. So I don't think we have to dice this. I want to keep the juice in it, you know, that beautiful pulp that's inside here. It's like the heart of the tomato, and it's kind of like a natural emulsifier, thickening. You know, these hearts. You know, a lot of recipes say, oh, you know, seedless, dump them. Oftentimes I don't. I'll use them. I'll make a salad dressing with them. They're yummy. You know, I put them aside, and that's just my little snack while I'm cooking. So 2 tomatoes. We're getting a little action here. Now I want a hot pan. I want to sear my meat. I don't want to poach it. So I want it hot. Sometimes they say it should really it should be smoking hot, but you don't need to try that at home. You can try that next time you're with me in the kitchen, okay? We'll go for the smoking hot sear, okay? This is very juicy. It's wonderful. So let me crank it up. Because, you know, once I put the meat in, it is definitely going to bring the temperature down. Now, I did take my meat out earlier. Some say take it out and let it get to room temperature, because that's going to be the best way to get the sear. And also, look at all this liquid from that tomato. Fantastic. You also want it to be dry. So let me get some paper towels. I lost my other towel. We're smoking yet? It fell. He's on the floor. Well, it sure smells good. So I think this is the sitting out. So it's pretty dry. And I don't want to overcrowd my pan. So maybe I'll just take these little bits out for now. Put it over here. There we go. Let's put these bad boys in here. And slowly. That's what I like to see. Like to see it cooking. I love the sound too. I had to get a new nonstick, you know. They do not last forever, y'all. So this is the new one. It's kind of a nice size. It's not as big as the other one that I had. You see, I can still hear it jumping in the pan. As if I can't hear that jumping in the pan, it is not really going to sear. So remember, you don't want to play with it too much. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Mm-mm-mm. All right, I want to touch it. I'm trying to hold back. I'm going to look at one. Oh, yeah, gorgeous. Look at that. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. We get to add, it says a half, and I think that's a mistake. It really should only be a quarter of a teaspoon. So I'm going to trust y'all to not put too much on, okay? You get to salt this, a little bit of pepper. Gave me a nice color. Remember, when you get that good color, little caramelizing, you're adding flavor. Oh, yeah. Okay, you know, I am just dying to eat one of these little babies. Give it another minute. Don't want it too long. And then I'm going to remove that, save the pan juices, and I'm going to add the broccoli rabe. Num, num, num. I think that's about all. I'm going to cook these right now. You can hear it. The heat kind of went down in my pan. Wasn't really jumping around anymore. I'm going to save the liquid in the pan. Get out. I want some liquid in here. Come on. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now I'm going to put in the broccoli rabe. And for quality purposes, I need to taste, just have a little bite of the meat. Come on. Oh, yeah. Now I could put the lid on this just for a minute. That might help it just to wilt a little bit. Oh, yeah. You know, there's one other thing that I did not cut up, and that was my cilantro. We need some fresh cilantro. So I am going to start cutting that up. I think it calls for quite a bit, like 2 tablespoons. And you know, you can cut the whole thing up, you know. You can cut up the sip of water. The stems have so much flavor. They are delicious, and they provide a nice little crunchy crunch, which I love. I put them in everything now. The stems in salsa. I'm just going to cut that in half. How are we doing? I think these actually are wilted already. Check that out. That was fast. Get that out. Take these out. And now I think I need to add the margarine. See, this is the fun part, right? Boy, that didn't turn into much, right? Those 2 cups. It's pulling the spinach thing. I'm going to turn it down. Oh, not off. Put in my margarine. If you think your pan's too hot, you know, take it off the heat. You know, don't be afraid. Just move it over. That usually, you know, stops the cooking and cool it off. Okay, now I just want to melt my margarine here. And then we're going to add les oignons. Get these bad boys in here. Sounds good. And I want to add my garlic. Voila. I get to add the ginger. That's a lot of ginger. But we like it. And I think I get to add my jalapeños. It says to cook these for 3 minutes. Uh-oh, hush, hush. Just until they soften. I think I just turned it up a little bit. mixed up. Voila. Here, dump it in the pan just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, look how pretty that looks. That looks so pretty. All right, now we're going to chop, chop, chop. Carefully chop. Make sure your cilantro is washed like a million times. It's full of dirt. Dirt. I mean, not one dunk, two dunks. Even that third, dunk, you're gonna have some dirt. Albeit it's they're a lot cleaner now. I don't know. Sometimes though, in the springtime, the rain can make them particularly dirty, like leaks. Sometimes you'll get a really nice leak that doesn't have any dirt, and then the next one full of dirt. Okay, so I just need to cook these. Just said 3 minutes, just until they've wilted a little bit. Remember, not too high because you don't want to burn the garlic. Let's just do this again. There we go. Okay, it's starting to wilt. I like. I didn't realize it's going to be such a pretty color. Now what do I get to add? Okay, just do. Now I get to add my rosemary. That's my rosemary and cumin. Get that all out. I just want this. I want to smell it. I mean, the cumin's kind of dry. Well, definitely dry. Rosemary fresh. When I smell the cumin, that means it's woken up. Why can't I smell it yet? Come on, y'all. Okay, now I get to add some of the other stuff. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, I can smell it. I just had to move my nose a little bit closer. Okay, now I've got my crushed tomatoes going in. Oh yeah, half a cup. Crushed tomatoes. And I've got a teaspoon of, I think, let me check. Okay, got the half a cup there. Okay, ooh, more than that. 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Got that. 1 tablespoon. Oh dear. I knew I had a tablespoon here somewhere of red wine vinegar. There we go. You can use red wine. That's fine too. Okay. Oh, I got to add some more berbere. Oh, yeah. Now I'm going to turn it down. Turn down. Not behave. Look at that. We're going to get a spicy sauce here. I like that. We're supposed to cook a couple minutes here. Got to get my broccoli rabe back in there. Boom. There we go. Simmer. I mean, that broccoli rabe's pretty cooked, don't you think? Let me move things around. I put it back on low. Oh, yeah. Nice. Now we get to add the beef. Oh, yeah. Look at all the juices. Flavor. Yum. And now I get to add my cilantro. This is the finishing. The tomatoes and the cilantro are the last addition of flavor to this wonderful dish. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. Oh, fantastico. I really want to taste it. How about that? And you just want to let this cook a little bit, just so all of those flavors come together. Maybe add a little bit of cracked black pepper, a little bit more. There we go. And oh, I wish I had some injera. And this, my friends, is ready. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Doesn't that look lovely? Pretty yummy. Now, usually they have a beautiful way to serve it, you know, on the tray with the injera on it. So, and they serve it right on the injera. And they, you know, they bring it to your table on the tray. Let's just see, you know, for fun, if I can get a piece of that injera on that little. Oh, and at least pretend. Just for the fun of it. So if I had the greens, you know, the greens would go on here as well. Oh, let me turn this off because I am very happy with what it is. So yeah, you would just put a little bit, you know, on here. And then you'd have your greens, and then you'd have your other wonderful, maybe even a salad. So no, that's not the most beautiful presentation. I apologize. So that's why I have this. In case I don't like the look of that one, how about just serve it in this really cool bowl? or a low bowl, you know, whatever works for you. I just thought this one was beautiful. It's beautiful stew. Put that in the center of the table. Look at this. This is enough to feed an army. Okay. Fantastic. I mean, and if you don't have the injera, like I said, you could serve it with the potatoes and cabbage. Or heck, I mean, you could even serve this with some cauliflower rice if you wanted to spice that up. That would certainly work. I'm sure they have lots of cauliflower dishes too. Okay, marvelous. How about that? And whoop. This has got a lot of lots of juice. And you know, it's not too spicy. Remember, you can control that spice by getting a less spicy injera. So what do we have? Or less spicy berbere seasoning. So let's just use that as a little bit of a garnish. Get my spoon for serving in here. Maybe a little bit more cilantro. Gotta have some of that cilantro garnish, right? Okay. And maybe just another little sprinkle of some more berbere seasoning. It did say to do that. And voila. I think it's going to be a delicious dinner. I just wish my daughter would have brought me some injera. She was in Silver Spring today, and I'm gonna fuss at her a bit. Let me give you one last overhead on that. And voila. Not too bad. Actually, oh, I almost forgot one thing. They had this cheese that they said to sprinkle on it. So I'm just going to sprinkle it over here on the side. That is sort of like they said it was what's the word I'm looking for? Cottage cheese. We met, not everybody likes cottage cheese, but actually real quick, I made it. I looked it up and it said you can cook yogurt. So I got a little thing of Greek yogurt and I cooked it. And this is the water separated from it. And it is actually really a neat kind of flavor. It's definitely zingy, which is wonderful. You know, like that zingy thing that's in the yogurt. It's actually almost better than yogurt. So give it a try. I just brought it to a boil and cooked it, stirred it just a little bit. And then I could see that the water was separating. And then I have the eilit. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Geez, cool, huh? All right, everybody. Just delighted having you here with me tonight. I hope you joined it. Again, keep your eye open on the calendar and click on the time where it says 6 to 7 link, and that'll take you to the recipe. Okay. So I may not have a class, virtual class next week. And then in May, my virtual classes are switching to Monday night. And we're starting a special series, and I will be cooking with a doctor from Hopkins, I believe. So please join in and tell your friends. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So, and stay tuned because we're definitely going to be back and have some fun. So, well, heart healthy, heart wishes to you all. And I will see you again real soon back in the Heart Kitchen. Thank you for joining me. Bye.